Okay, we are live in Facebook. It's Hannah and Lisa here together. Hello, hello. How are you today? Lisa, how are
Hello, I'm
you?
good. I'm good. I'm good. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa. I'm in the States. I'm actually in Nebraska, right in the middle of the United States, where we
Yeah.
have a lot of corn here.
Lisa is my very, very good online friend. We've never met in person, but we do talk every single Monday. We're business buddies online. We jump on Zoom. In fact, this is the time that we talk every single Monday, isn't it? We just decided to do this as an interview today.
Right.
And we were talking last week about how our mindset has really, really grown in just the last year and a half. And I'm sure that we both had our own personal journey before that as well, Lisa. And we know that this is like critical to our clients being able to see a change in their health is their mindset. So thought we would just I would interview Lisa today. She might ask me a couple of questions back around mindset and how that can actually help your health. So are you ready to dive in with me, Lisa?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let me just give them a little bit more background info. Lisa and I met each other online because we've gone into the same business coaching courses together. We're following each other, aren't we?
We are.
We've been doing that for 18 months and we've invested financially quite heavily into our businesses. So about $14,000 in the last year, year and a half.
Mhm.
And we're doing that because we know that we need to grow. We need to grow our mindset to grow our business and any other aspects of our life as well. Do you think I've got that right, Lisa? Would you like to add anything to that?
Spot on. I mean, that's exactly why we continued in the second part of that, the 18 months is because, you reach a plateau with things and then you're just kind of stuck. And so you have to do something else. You have to put another tool in your toolbox.
Yeah. And Lisa's a nutritionist as well. She's had her own health journey. So I'd love to dive into that. Lisa, what went on with your health? Doorbell. What went on with your health? Can you share with us? And how did you overcome that?
Okay, so I'm a holistic nutritionist, and my thing was always gut health because I have celiac. So I was diagnosed with it about 15 years ago. Did all the normal tests, the endoscopy, colonoscopy, and the gluten-free diet, but I still wasn't getting the results I wanted. I was still ending up pretty sick. So I went on, suffered for years, did all the Googling, all the, try this diet. And at the time, Google wasn't as big as it is now. I literally had to like go to a library and look things up, which was so weird. Um, so, um, so I did, and I just, found out that the end was just a gluten-free diet, and I still was having major stomach aches and still having bathroom issues. And I just thought, I'm so young. I married and I have 4 boys, and at the time, my kids were, my gosh, they were all below 12. So
Yeah.
4 boys under the age of 12. Plus, my husband traveled all the time, and I was working part-time, juggling my kids, being a single parent. It was a lot. So a lot of stress. So then I decided to go back to school and get a master's in holistic nutrition. I did not want to do the traditional nutrition that we have here in the States because it just, for some reason, it was a gut instinct. It didn't align with my principles. So then I took it one step farther and specifically looked into gut, and that's where I got my answers. So again, I had to invest in my education to understand, to learn, to move forward. Otherwise, I would still be really, really sick and probably have multiple diseases by this point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So what is your business now? Who do you help?
I help people with gut issues. So people who have IBS or Crohn's or celiac or just chronic gas and bloat and diarrhea, constipation that they toggle with. So
Yeah. And so your journey is very similar to mine. Lots of people in my community are going to know my story, but also I've got lots of new people. So welcome to the new people to the group. And like Lisa, I really struggled with my health. So I definitely had gut health problems as well, because that is the root of lots of our health issues, isn't it? But for me, my children were very, very young. And the main thing that I was really struggling with was really low energy, constant fatigue, to the point where once I was worried that I was going to crash my car because I couldn't stay awake when I was driving. So literally putting my children's life at risk. And other lots of symptoms that went along with it, which I'm sure is the same as you, Lisa. It's never just affects one part of the body, but for me, like heart palpitations, feeling dizzy all the time, and really like affecting the quality of my life. And like you, I had to invest, not just professionally into professional education, but I spent lots and lots of money on seeing different health professionals over the years. And they all helped me to a certain extent, but I didn't seem to be able to get to like the root cause and really find out what was going on. I forgot to add, I was in a lot of pain as well. So I used to have terrible backache and shoulder ache and neck pain that was really debilitating. And so I saw lots of professionals, they helped me get so far. And then just like you, I invested in my professional education to study to become a nutritionist. And I'd love to, obviously that changed everything for me then. And so I help the clients I help are busy professional women who are really, really struggling with their energy. And there's lots of things that go along with that. So I'd love to know for you, did you always know, Lisa, that you could get to the bottom of your health issues and you knew that you could solve it? Was that a belief for you at the time?
No, it wasn't, which is why I spent 15 years, or not 15 years, which is why I spent about 10 years trying to, I was trying things, but I don't know that I ever really knew in my heart of hearts that I'd find an answer, because I honestly thought that this was the beginning of, I hate to say the end, but the beginning of the health issues for me, because so many people are on so many medications. And I thought, well, this is what I'm destined. I'm destined to be sick, and I'm destined to just feel this way the rest of my life. And then as I need medications for my symptoms, I guess I'll just get them. I just kind of, okay, I guess those are my choices. And I found out those were not my choices. Mm-hmm. And that, all I needed was just a nugget of information here and there that kept sending me on my journey. And I would just get, I'm not kidding, nuggets. Oh, that makes sense. And that makes sense. Yeah. And so it aligned with me. And to me, it was logical. It was like, well, that's just logical. Why wouldn't I try that? So that's what led me to keep going and eventually focus just on how the gut works and how to heal it.
Yeah. So what was
How about you? I mean, did you always know? Did you always know that you would find?
Oh, 1 minute. Working from home.
Welcome.
I've always had a belief that I would get better and that I could get better. And when I work with women now, I see this is like really, really vitally important, that to get better, you have to believe that you can. That wasn't really the problem for me. I've always had that belief. I don't know how. My mum brought me up quite liking natural medicine, natural nutrition, homeopathy, aromatherapy. So I've always quite liked that kind of natural healing. I just knew that I had to find the right thing for me. And I think the thing that was missing for me was consistency. Mm-hmm. And getting the right support to help me get that consistency in place. And I've not only found that with nutrition, I found it with exercise as well. And I found it in my business as well, that I found it really hard to get all of the good habits in place, mm-hmm. consistent. And if I try and do it by myself, I found it takes years and years and years, because I tried doing it by myself and it has taken years. And I found investing in the right support in any area of my life has helped me get that consistency and move forward a lot more quickly. Mm-hmm. What's been your experience with that?
Well, I think you're exactly right. I mean, I had lots of support, but I wanted to ask you, what was your support from family and friends on this journey? Because that was important to me, and I needed that. So did you find that easy, or did you have a lot of support from family and friends to go on this long journey?
My family and friends are really supportive, and I'm sure most people who are watching this will hopefully have the same. But I felt like they was in the dark as much as what I was about my health, and mm-hmm. they would sympathise with the symptoms I was having. They might try and help, like they might say that they could look after the children for a few hours, and they might support me if I was trying certain things. But they wasn't able to support me in the way to lead me to an answer, because they didn't know either. Right. So it's kind of the blind leading the blind, really. I mean, yeah, thanks for summarizing that.
I mean, and I think, the support, the emotional support of, friends and family, just to have the support of your husband, and even your kids to an extent, because I remember my kids saying, every time we went out to eat, my kids would say, which we don't eat out a lot, but we would, they'd say, Mom, is this someplace you can eat? Just asking me that question gave validity to my own health, and it actually propelled my health forward right there, because if my kids were asking if I could eat there, that means the decline in my health was absolutely affecting them in some way, whether they saw it or they were worried about me, I don't know. But for them to ask that, and I got asked that every time, or we would go to an event like a wedding or a birthday party, Mom, is there anything here you can eat?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so that kind of support, I didn't realize at the time, it was actually helping me, because it was making me think, I don't know if I can eat anything here. I mean, if they were aware, certainly I should be aware. And my health was obviously so apparent to them that they were asking.
Yeah, so they had that caring nature. They really did care for you. And I know it's not the same for everyone, because some women do tell me that their partners or their friends may kind of like roll their eyes about them trying different things diet wise. So I guess we were very blessed to have that support.
Yeah.
Would you say that there was like an aha moment for you in your health transformation?
There was, and it was when I invested again in my education with a doctor from England who focused on. She was a neurologist and a nutritionist, and her whole work was on healing the gut and helping kids with autism, and went farther, and it was about gut issues like celiac and Crohn's, and even going into the mental health side of it, which I don't focus on. That's not my thing. But I realized, after listening and learning from her, that I guess I had depression all along that I really didn't realize I had, because, I'm from an Italian family, and Italian women are strong, and, they don't break for anything. And I just wasn't allowed to show that or demonstrate or even verbalize that. But looking back, I'm sure I was. I'm sure I absolutely was. So, I learned from her that I needed to, heal and seal my gut. And that was my aha moment. Like, that is the missing link in this whole thing. I'm doing all these things. I'm eating gluten-free. I'm reading all these labels. I'm talking to all these people. All my health numbers have checked out with the doctors. So there was one missing link, and I found it. And ever since I found it, I have just totally capitalized on it. And that's why I do what I do, because it's the missing link for so many people.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your aha moment?
I think I've had lots over the years. I think that you'll have an aha moment that will get you to the next level, won't you? And then you'll like have another one that will get you to the next level. I think some really simple ones for me, and lots of my clients tell me this one as well, is you start to eat healthy more regularly, and you don't really notice how good you're feeling, because you kind of forgot how bad you felt before.
Yeah. So true.
You have a period, maybe you go away for a couple of days and you kind of fit in with other people, and you eat what you wouldn't normally eat, and then you realize that your mental health goes back a bit like what you were saying. I think I was never diagnosed with depression, but looking back, perhaps I was touching on it at times, like postnatally. The aha moment is like your mental health slips along with your diet. And I think that was a big wake up call. And lots of women tell me that as well. Like, I didn't realize how good I was feeling until I started eating, rubbish again. And so I think that kind of connection of what you're putting in your body, how much it actually affects not only your health, but your mental health as well.
I would agree, 100%, spot on. Yep. You don't realize how bad you feel until you start feeling good. And then all of a sudden, that alone is an aha moment. And people, my clients experience that, within, a week or two. They're like, I didn't realize how bad I was feeling. I had no idea. That's empowering, and it's an aha moment. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And because you've worked with so many people, Lisa, do you feel that you have to have the perfect diet to be able to get your health back on track? And I ask that because I know some women who might be watching this now might be thinking like, they have their own limitations in their head of, I can't eat healthy all the time, it's too hard. Do you think you have to have a perfect diet to heal?
No, I certainly don't. Because I always tell my clients, it's about progress, not perfection.
Yes.
I mean, we're human, and, I have kids. I have extended family, there's social events. I can't put myself in a box. When you put yourself in a box, you create all this restriction, and that
Yeah.
creates more stress. And that's horrible for anybody with gut issues. That's horrible.
Yeah.
So, I call them hiccups. If you run into a hiccup, you get on the next meal. Or let's talk about some of the hiccups that might come up in the next week with your life, so that we can kind of prepare
Yeah.
before those come up.
Yeah.
So like eating out or traveling or things like that.
Yeah. And then
How about you?
what was my question?
Well, the question was, do you feel like
Oh,
you have to do perfect, do something perfectly A to Z?
Far from it. No, I don't think there is. I don't think there's anyone out there. Oh, there might be one or two. I haven't come across anyone yet. Even with, I know lots of nutritionists, and I'm sure you do as well. You do when you work in a business. Most nutritionists still enjoy some form of cake or wine or chocolate, and they're some of life's small pleasures.
Yeah.
And connecting with family and friends and being able to fit in with what they're doing as well is really, really important for your happiness. And
Sure.
there's no point healing and eating all the right foods if you're not going to be happy at the same time as well. So no, I think it's about making small, sustainable changes rather than changing everything and trying to be perfect.
Exactly. Because food is really everybody's culture.
Yes.
I mean, that is the one thing that obviously sustains our life. And it's a cultural activity to share a meal with someone, with your family, with your friends, or at an event. And, to take your own food with you, or, say, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. Oh, why can't you eat that? Because I have gut issues or whatever, it totally changes the whole scope of the experience. And I have found with my clients that they don't want that attention, and they want to be able to walk into any event and say, I'm good. I can do this.
Yeah. So if anyone's watching this live on replay now and you feel like you've stopped yourself taking action towards healthy eating because you think that it will be too hard, you've got these limitations in your mind where you think that you don't want to be perfect and you think it's too hard, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you if that's been one of your limitations so far, and we hope that our open and frank discussion is helping you change your mindset around that a little bit. So Lisa, I'm wondering, as we're chatting, what is the mindset that you see in your clients between someone who's successful and someone who carries on struggling?
That's a great question. I know my mantra has become, in business and in life and in happiness, why not me? Yeah. I see people that are, they might have a lot of money, they might, look amazing, have this amazing health, or they're beaming with happiness. And happiness looks different for everybody, and so does health. You can take, the supermodel who looks amazing, but she can be completely unhealthy from the inside out. So it's all relative to what you want it to be. But my mantra has become, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I have those things too? And same thing with, my health first and foremost, because I have 4 boys and they're older now, but our family will be growing, and I want to be able to see the next generation and be very involved. So for health, why not me? I'm going to continue to grow with that. So how about you? What's your mantra moving forward with your health and everything, your family?
I use mantras a lot, and I teach it in my course, actually. I think it's really, really important to train the mind, because the mind always wants to go towards the fear and the limitations, doesn't it? So I think it's very, very important to train the mind. I've got a few. Actually, one I was going to say about our last topic of conversation that I learned from one of our mentors is imperfect action.
I love that.
Always spoke to us about imperfect action. I know that we've both done that with our business. So even if, the spelling's not quite right, or the email didn't go out at the time that you want it to, that you still keep moving forward and taking action. And I think that's really important with your health as well. So I can think of a client who told me that she had a takeaway burger one night and she felt awful. And I was like, okay, imperfect action, it's going to happen sometimes. Could you have had like a bit of a salad with that? Or could you put some sauerkraut in the burger? So it's that kind of like, you're having a takeaway, it happened. but the, you know, the imperfect bit, but how could you have just made it that little bit better to still keep moving forward? Was one of my mantras at the time when I was trying to get a lot healthier was, I'm so grateful. So I'd say every morning and every evening, I'm so grateful. And I'd say something that I wanted. So I wanted really, really vibrant health, and I wanted to be out of pain with my back. But Lisa, I'm sure you know this, you don't want to use like the negative words, and you don't want to move towards what you don't want. You try and move to what you do want. So I kind of spun that around, like, what is it I want? I want vibrant health. And if I don't want a bad back, what do I want? So I thought, I want to be flexible. So every morning and every night I'd say, I'm so grateful that my health is vibrant every day and that my body is flexible. And
Awesome. I love that.
People and they don't believe it, then I work with them to say, I'm so grateful that I'm working towards my health becoming so vibrant and my body becoming so much more flexible.
And that's so true. You can't move towards the fear. You can't move, to the negative. You have to move, and you have to be specific about what you want. Like you said, vibrant, I mean, that word like totally fits you. I see it every Monday with you. You're very vibrant. I mean, you are. And, not that every day looks perfect, because it's not. I mean, there's nothing perfect about life for anybody. Certain people make it look easy, but that just means they've done a lot of work to get there. They've done a lot of work to get there to make it look really easy. And that to me is attractive, as we have found with our mentors. They make it look so easy, and every Monday be like, why can't we figure that out? Because they've done all the hard work, and they're making it look easy. And so, health, happiness, money, all that stuff, none of it comes just with a blink of an eye and sitting around. You have to, when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
When you know that there's a better life, that there's better health, that you can feel better, that you can live better, then you do better. You absolutely do better. And you will move heaven and earth to get there. Like we've done. I mean, you just have to move, you have to prioritize, and you have to balance. And that's hard for women to do all of those things every day, to put on all those hats and think, I have to do this all perfectly. You know?
Yeah. And then, do you know, all those different hats, what I found with most people is that they're kind of maybe in survival. So you're trying to pay your bills. So the most important thing is work. And like, work's here because you feel like you need money. You don't focus on your health. So your health comes at the bottom. And what I've learned is that the health has to be the number one. So sometimes we take that for granted. But if you haven't got your health, and there'll be people in this group now who aren't working because they haven't got their health. They've had to go part-time. They've had to go on sick leave. They've had to leave their jobs. You have to prioritize health. So I'm interested, your health is good now. You teach fitness as well, don't you, Lisa?
I do. I teach indoor cycling. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen your pictures. Is for you, out of like all the different hats and all the different lists of responsibilities, is health still at the top for you, or is there something else that's at the top?
No, that's at the top for me, because if I don't have that, I don't have anything.
Yes.
And on the days, if I do the imperfect action over the weekend, and let's say I just decide to go off my diet. I call it a diet, but it's not. Just eat something I normally don't eat because it sounds good, or because other people are eating it and I just want to be a part of the group. I think we all experience that.
Yes.
Then I pay a price. And, there's a fine line between eating how you need to eat to feel good and not eating. And so I'm constantly trying to narrow that gap so that I can find that balance. And that's really all it is. Like, it's a balance of these things so that you can feel better, all the time, or more often than not. So when you derail, you're going to have derailed health, and that's going to derail in all areas of your life. And so for women especially, we have so much. I was just talking to my sister last night. I have 4 sisters, and this one's 9 years younger. And she's, she works full time, 5 girls, putting on, makes every meal at home, has a garden, no time for working out. And she's like, you know what? I just want to lose weight because I want to wear cute clothes. It's a great goal, but you have to peel off all those layers and somehow find that energy to get there. But at the end of the day, if you don't have your health, you can't get anywhere. You have to start there. You have to start there, and you have to find the smallest way to get there. You have to take that first step, because you'll never get there just staying where you are. You have to take a step. There's a risk. You have to take a leap of faith, and you have to trust the process, that in the end, you have your health, and that everything else falls into place without you having to use any more energy. It'll all fall into place. It really will, because that's how health works, right?
Most certainly. And let's talk about time then, because like you just said about your sister not having the time to exercise, and I see this all the time, I'm sure you do as well. Time is one of the biggest objections, not just of health, but in life, isn't it? We don't have
It is. It is.
Don't have the time to menu plan, don't have the time to cook, don't have the time to exercise, don't have the time to prioritize yourself. How do you, as a busy mum, as a busy working woman, how do you find the time to prioritize your health?
Well, I mean, I reached out to, I have resources of my own that I use to help me plan. I have different, things, just mindsets that I do. But I think that's where I need someone I will hand out the responsibilities at home, to my husband and to my kids. Like, when COVID hit, all four of the boys were home, and they were all just showing up to the dinner table, like, what's for dinner? And I'd be working until dinner time, and sometimes through dinner time. So I was still working full time, and all of the responsibility was on me now to feed four boys that aren't boys, they're men. Okay. So they're big appetites. So I just said, you have Monday, you have Tuesday, and I handed out dinner to all of them and said, this is your responsibility. You know how to cook. I taught them how to cook. And then, you have to plan, purchase, and prepare. And I gave them my debit card. I'll buy it. You just plan it, go to the store, get what you need, and make it. That worked beautifully, was just handing out some of the responsibility, taking it off me. And same with my husband, because sometimes he's working through evenings too. So just giving a little bit of responsibility to family members helps a lot. And the other thing is having someone in your corner who is a coach for you, because as a mom, as a working mom, as a woman, with all the hats we wear, you need someone in your corner that says, hey, you know what? Great job. Hey, you know what? That's a good idea. And so being in a community of other women that also want that helps a lot. And again, that's taking that step. That's asking for someone to be your coach. So when it comes to health, if you don't know where to start, get with a coach like yourself and have somebody help you do the small things. If you don't want to do meal planning, let me help you do that. If you don't want to, if you need help organizing your time, let me help you do that, because we've done it and we're doing it. And it's much easier to take that help from people who have it figured out, rather than trying to figure it out for yourself when you don't have the energy or the time.
Yeah, I love that. So what you said is to prioritize your health. You got other members of your family to chip in and help you around the house, so you wasn't trying to do everything by yourself.
No. And I have all boys. Okay. And if my boys can do it, I mean, at some point of their life, they'll be taking care of themselves. So, I did not take it all on myself. I just handed out the responsibility, and they took it in stride, and it actually worked really well. It became a game of who made the best dinner. It became a competition with the boys. So it was fun. It took such a load off me. And now two of them have moved out because of school. And so I lost two of my dinner nights.
And saved a bit on your shopping bill as well, I would imagine.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. How about you? How do you prioritize?
I am very much the same as you. I don't try and do everything myself. So I say, for example, and I've shared this in my group before, say, for example, I get a bit overwhelmed when there's too much tidying. That's what I find really hard. So I don't try and do it by myself. I go, right, Monday night, when everyone's home, we're all tidying for an hour. So I will get other people involved as well. And then the other thing for me is deciding what's important. So what are my values? So health is one of my values, and then making sure that I'm using some of my time towards that value. So it's no point saying that I want to be healthy and then not making any time towards it. But I can't find the time, so I make the time. So I actually plan a lot. I open up my diary and I write down what days I'm going to exercise or what day I'm going to menu plan, and it really doesn't come naturally to me at all. I'm not a naturally organized person. But I found to get everything done that I want to in my life, time just seems to disappear if I'm not organized about it, Lisa.
I
And
agree.
yeah, and so I have to put everything into my diary and then be like, have honor to my own word. If I say I'm going to exercise, then I need to do that at that specific time, and that helps my confidence. It helps me trust myself because I've carried through on what I'm going to say. So for me, a lot of it is about diary. With exercise, because it really slipped in COVID times for me, I paid to get a coach. So I had to show up at that time to see a coach. And I see her twice a week, and I work out once a week by myself. I add some yoga and some walking into that. But I know that I've always had success when I pay to get help. It doesn't always feel comfortable. I don't always feel like I can afford it at the time, but I know I do kind of trust the universe, and I trust the universe has my back when I'm doing it, like when I'm keeping in integrity with myself and working towards goals which are for the better good. So, you know, it will help my health will help look after my family, it will help for other people better with more energy, and so being congruent with my values.
100%. So it's just sometimes we always put ourselves last as moms because everybody else's needs, even the dog's needs, come into play, you know. But the thing is, it's like if we break or we have a sick day, you know, we're the nucleus of our family. If we break, that just trickles right down, and we have to allow ourselves time. Like you said, you have to carve it out of your schedule. I'm not a huge planner. I can be very disorganized.
Yeah.
I just talked to a client last night and she's like, "Oh, you just seem so organized." I'm like, I'm not. I mean, I got to be honest, I'm not. But what I do, what helps me, I make a list of 3 things I want to accomplish every day. I mean, they're simple. One of those things can be get to the store.
Yeah.
That's sometimes I haven't gotten to the grocery store, or one of those could be do yoga. One of those might be write an email. I make 3 easy goals. I write it down in my, we call it a planner here.
Yeah.
I write it down in my planner every day, 3 things, and it's measurable. And I love to cross that off. And that keeps me accountable to myself. But I think the biggest takeaway is making sure that if you can't do it all, delegate to whomever you can, and then enlist in a coach to help you, whatever that coaching you need. It is okay. It doesn't mean you're not a super mom. Take the cape off. We never had the cape on. We never had it on. Okay. We can't do everything perfectly. And, you know, when I screw up, and I just tell my kids, you know what? I'm one person.
Yeah.
And I only have 2 hands and 1 brain. There's only so much. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mom." They're honestly pretty kind about it. But it just, you're one person. You're one person.
And you and your health is important.
It is important.
Lisa, I think as you mentioned the planner and I mentioned the diary, I should share that you actually got imported the diary that I use over to the US.
Yeah. I ordered another one.
I've ordered mine too.
Yeah. Should we show them?
Let's show them. Mine is, it is to hand. These are my scribbles. I always work in pencil. We've got our diaries here.
Yep.
This is from, this was shared with me by someone else. This is from Claire Mitchell. So she's in the UK. Actually, she only took it this year, so you would have missed out for 2021. But
so pretty. I love it.
Yeah. Working from something like that and writing down everything that you want to do every day is really important, I think. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a goal can be as simple as, you know, plan for dinner, start in the morning, plan for dinner. A goal can be go for a 20-minute walk, or, you know, take 10 minutes for yourself and pray or meditate, whatever that is. I mean, just give it back to yourself, because there's a reason that you're here right now. And you want to be able to be you, you know, and you don't want to be tired and in pain and not feeling good. That's not your best self.
So I want to know, is what Lisa is sharing, is it golden for you? Are you learning something from it? Are you appreciate her showing up and sharing her wisdom in the group? Give us a heart in the comments if you are. Lisa, I'd love to ask you one more question just before we wrap. Okay. What are your current mindset rituals? What do you do every day at the moment to help you with your growth mindset?
Okay, so I wake up every day with gratitude. Every day when I open my eyes, it's gratitude. I'm a prayerful person, so I say a prayer in gratitude for you know, all that I have, starting with my family.
Yeah.
And then I used to get up and like run or do something first thing in the morning. I do not do that. I like to get up and let my body wake up, and I hydrate. I hydrate a lot of water, you know. So gratitude, yep. Here's mine. It matches my planner. Gratitude, water. And then I take, you know, the next, before I, you know, get to my computer, I just take some downtime and, you know, talk to my boys before they leave for school and whatever, and get the dog what he needs to do, and plan, you know, morning with my husband. And then I sit down and write my 3 things before my day starts. So I
Yeah.
gratitude, hydrate. Now I have some coffee, and then I write my 3 things and see what I've got up, you know, set up for the day. So I at least set myself up for some success. You have to have some success every day. And you
Mhm.
can't have a success if you don't have a plan. It doesn't have to be a big plan. Like I said, my 3 things, sometimes it's, you know, throw in the laundry, start that. I mean, check. If I check that, I feel really good. How
Yeah.
about you? What do you do every day? What's your routine?
I'd love to add to that something that we both do, Lisa. Thank you for sharing that. Is we both go to a mindset workshop every single week, don't we? Every
We do.
single
I
Thursday.
love it.
Remember the day. So
Yep.
we actually go to with a professional mindset coach. We go on every Thursday to break through our own limiting beliefs, which is amazing, isn't it? My
It's
current
amazing.
ones are I do gratitude every morning, every evening. I practice that with my children too. I do a short meditation every day. So
Hmm.
it's normally in the morning. If I haven't done it in the morning, it'd be the evening. And also, I'm always trying to visualize what it is I want in my life. So, what it is with my health, or what it is with my business, or whatever goals I'm working towards. I try and visualize it happening. And then in my mind, I'm talking to myself like it's already done. Like, I'm so grateful that that has already happened. So just that kind of like powerful visualization, that's really, really important for me at the moment. And also, I'd say the last one is being very aware of my language. Sometimes I say the odd thing and I think, oh, I'll catch myself, and then I work to change that another
Oh,
time.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And I also do the visualization of um, the me that I am in, I don't want to say future, but I'm already there,
Yeah.
and I am grateful for that. So I do that visualization too. I kind of left that out of it. But yeah, that's huge. It's just to see yourself in the light that you want to see yourself, and you have to see it every day, lots of times a day, because
Yeah.
you're already there. What do we call it? The ruby slipper syndrome. You already
Oh
have
yeah,
the ruby
let's start
slippers
that.
on.
Yeah,
Just
let's wrap
click your
it up.
heels.
That's what you do
So
with clients, isn't it?
yep, the ruby slipper syndrome. Yep, you already have the shoes on. Just click your heels.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Lisa Garrett, for your time today for sharing.
Thank you. It's been fun, Hannah. I love this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you next morning for our chat as usual. But we hope
Sounds great.
we hope you've taken a lot away from that today. See you, everyone.
Bye bye. Take